morning, guys. Welcome back to the channel. Just a lovely overcast day. It's supposed to storm here in northern Illinois, so we'll see how that goes. Today's video comes about because of a couple of questions that I've had in my last couple of videos related to environmentalism. I had a couple of my commenters make the statement that, or make the comment that owning an EV, you save on gas and all that, and it's wonderful for the environment, and thank you for sticking up for the environment. Well, I want to set the record straight. I've been very clear in other videos that I'm not an environmentalist in the typical sense of the word, but I am concerned about it. And so I wanted to explain to you guys, why do I drive electric? And to kind of give a good, I think it's a well-rounded perspective on this. So it is generally assumed by most people that if you drive electric, especially if you own a Tesla, that you are doing it primarily for environmental reasons. Now, I am. It's not that I have no concern for the environment, but that's not my primary reason for driving electric. I own this car, and as I've mentioned in a couple other videos, we are getting a used short-range EV here shortly, and so we're moving more and more toward an electric propulsion only life, and we will get there at some point. But the main reason that I drive electric, there's several. One is complexity. EVs, even though like with the Tesla you've got all the electronic technology in it, they are much more mechanically simple. And I'm a mechanical engineer by heart, by sort of by desire and by drive and by giftedness and skill. That is my bent. So I like mechanical things. However, I also know that too much mechanical complexity, mechanical parts wear out, and oftentimes it is the simplicity can rule the day. So that's one main reason. Secondly is cost savings. I don't like paying for gas. Running an EV is less costly. Now I know this car is an expensive car, but the number of miles I drive, 160 miles a day on average, even though this is a $50,000+ car, it does save me a lot of money in gas. And our other EV, we're buying used, very reasonably priced, and so that will save us a lot of money in gas. So that's another thing. Third thing, I don't want to be sending our enemies overseas money for gas. A friend of mine is a Venezuelan citizen, and that country is such a wreck, and I don't know, I don't want to be sending Venezuela or the Middle East money for fuel. Now I do own a couple of gas cars, so I know you guys are going to bash me in the comment section. Well, why don't you go 100% EV? I'm not really getting into that right now, but we are moving in that direction, and the vast majority of miles that we as a family put on our vehicles are driven electric. So there's that. Also, there is the I want to go back to the environmental side of things. So for me, I am concerned for the environment. It is important. However, I have a greater level of concern for other things, and so I choose to focus more time and energy on and resources on other more pressing issues. So we've got dictators that are slaughtering their population. We've got human trafficking. We've got the drug problem. I mean, there's all these issues going on. We have people that are homeless, and all of these issues that are very pressing in our world. And so my wife and I are focused on issues such as that, more humanitarian issues than environmental issues, if you can call it that. So we donate roughly 15% of our income to help those in need, and that is the primary thrust of our extra time and resources. So it's not that I'm not concerned about the environment, but you can only do so much. I'm not a typical environmentalist in that I don't, go on marches and all of these different things that extreme environmentalists are consider the norm. But my next thing that I'm going to bring up as to why I drive electric will help you guys understand better where I come from an environmental standpoint, and that is probably the single biggest reason I drive electric is waste. I hate waste with a passion. I hate it. I hate wasting time. I hate wasting resources. I hate waste. And though generating electricity to charge my car here in Illinois, much of that electricity occurs through burning coal, it's still, an electric car is burning far less to generate its energy than a gas car would of similar size and whatnot. So I can't stand, every time I gas up a gas car, I just keep thinking to myself, this is money that's going right down the drain. And so I just hate waste. But it's not just the burning of gas that is wasteful. How about oil changes? EVs don't need oil changes. Brakes, not just wearing out brakes. For those that don't know, EVs and also hybrids have electric regen. So 90+% of the slowing down energy is absorbed through braking regen that back charges the battery. So you recapture that energy. And every time I slow down in this car or my hybrid, my Ford C-Max hybrid that I had before this, and I'm using regen, I just smile inside knowing that though it's not 100% return, that I am getting a return on that energy. It's not just wasted in heat and frictional wear on the brakes, that I'm actually recapturing much of that energy that was lost. So I love that part. I love letting off and seeing, the regen. That is so cool. I like knowing that I can accelerate hard in this car, and it's so efficient that you don't lose nearly as much in heat as in a gas car. So that would be the primary reason I drive electric, is I really hate waste. Another reason is performance. It's quite easy to get really strong performance out of electric propulsion, at least torque, and which would be the 0 to modest speed acceleration. So with short range EVs like, the Leaf or like the Chevy Volt or whatever, cars that I've driven that are short range EVs, they are their acceleration is primarily, the strength of acceleration is from 0 to 30 or 35 miles an hour. With this car, it's fine from 0 to 30, but it's really strong from, say, 30 to about 60. And then above that, this particular car, long-range rear-wheel drive Model 3, the acceleration tapers. But if you think about it, for the majority of driving that people do, the power that you want it down low in torque, and that's where electric propulsion really, really shines. Gas engines, like for instance, we have a BMW convertible, an M car. It's an M240i, great car, and trust me, if we could get a convertible, that's a convertible. If we could get a convertible like that in electric, we would, but we can't. So that's why we have that car. But that car has more power than this. It accelerates harder. Primary thing, this car is much more immediate when you get on it. This car feels stronger from that, say, 30 to 60 point, and but this car does kind of sign off. The BMW is actually quicker to 60 than this car, but above 60 it just keeps on pulling. I mean, you get sucked back in your seat and you stay there. And that's the strength of a gas car, is that it may not have as much torque as an EV, but it will keep pulling for a longer period of time. But let's face it, how often are you going to be accelerating strongly beyond 60 miles per hour? You're really not going to, unless you're on the Autobahn or whatever. So electrics really suit typical driving. When you're around town and you're kind of zipping through traffic and you need to zip quickly to merge, and you need to accelerate to get around somebody quickly to make it into a turn lane or whatever, brisk acceleration at that, say, 25 to maybe 40 mile per hour speed, that's really where EVs shine, and that's where you, for most inner city driving, that's what you want. And so all of these things, I like the quiet running. I mean, I do enjoy the sound of an engine. My mechanical side likes that, but generally speaking, I like the silence. I like that I can floor this car and it doesn't disturb the neighbors. So, again, I'm going to repeat myself that I don't drive electric for environmental reasons. I do like it, and it is one factor, but it's a couple items down the list. It's not the most important reason for me anyway. And I understand why other people are for the environment, and I'm for it as well, but there are other more pressing issues in this world that my wife and I choose to focus our energy and our attention on. A lot of people assume that when I say I'm not an activist on the environment, that I just don't do anything. I mean, I've picketed before, but not for the environment. I donate a lot of my income, but it's not primarily toward the environment. It's toward humanitarian items or causes. So anyway, that's my take on it. That's just me. Everyone has different reasons for doing various things that they do in their life. So I just wanted to illustrate this in a succinct way for you guys to answer a lot of those commenters that assume that I'm in it primarily for the environment. And again, environment's important, but that's not the main reason that I drive electric. So anyway, thanks guys. Go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Let me know if there's any specifics that you want covered regarding the Model 3 or just driving electric. What is the electric lifestyle like? Just let me know. Ask any questions that you might have in the comments section below, and if it seems worthy, I'll shoot a video on that topic. Oh, one other thing, supposedly arriving today is a product that I'm going to be testing for a manufacturer. They're not sponsoring the channel, although they are sending me the product for free to test. It's a very cool electronic item, and I am psyched to test this thing out. So if it does arrive today, I've agreed to have a video filmed and ready for upload within 48 hours, so you guys can see a review on that this weekend. Very, very cool item. So anyway, thanks a lot guys. Have yourselves a wonderful day. Bye-bye now.